idea of stationary points. I talk about two types of tests. First derivative and second derivative. For it to be a stationary point, dy dx must be 0. Okay? Now, then we have this first derivative. If it is negative, 0, positive, it is a minimum point, right? If it is positive, 0, negative, it is a maximum point, right? If the sign don't change, that is a point of inflection. Everybody okay? Now, does d2y dx squared, that means the second derivative, equal to 0, necessarily mean that it's a point of inflection? No. If the second derivative test doesn't work, you have to go back to first derivative. Now, what is second derivative? d2y dx squared. If it is less than 0, it is a maximum point. d2y dx squared, if it is more than 0, it is a minimum point. This is the second derivative test. Okay? Now, of course, I write d2y dx squared. Sometimes the question can be like that. Right? So, first derivative is being denoted by f prime x, right? I told you before. What about second derivative? Double prime. Understand? Double prime. You will tell me, Cher, got triple prime or got no higher level. Okay, but I won't be there to teach you already. I only teach until Sec 4. I cannot be going to JC or die. Okay? Level so far away. Understand? Oh? So, first derivative, second derivative. Understand? Double prime. Okay? Alright, good. Now, then, yesterday, I have done until example 3, and I specifically say that I will stop at example 3. Am I right to say that? Okay, all of you turn to that page now, which is page 53, right? Okay, then the rest of page 53 tells you about second derivative test. Okay, and can you look at page 54? The test is summarized there. If it is less than 0, it's a maximum point. If it is more than 0, it's a minimum point. Actually, I have already done all that yesterday. Okay, now, can you see the reason why I didn't teach first and second separately? Because I don't feel that there's a need to teach it separately. Teach it together, you'll learn it better. Okay, if I teach it separately, right, students have this compartmentalized kind of brain. That it must be like that, then like that. You know what I mean? But actually, it's a holistic one. You understand? I can even do it by completing the square and so on to get the maximum point. You see, when I say complete the square, what is that, right? Once upon a time, last year, Mrs. Square could teach you before. That is chapter 1. Remember, a maximum point and goes to the tunnel, that one. Wow, you like lost your memory like that. You know, there's a tunnel like this. Then after that, and the lorry go fast, that one. Remember, then I set one during the WA. I don't know whether you all did this WA when you were in Sec 3. I said, I want one crab crawl at the canal. Did you all do this? No, that one is I do one because I don't know how to play, so I tell you crab crawl. Then after that, wear minimum that kind of rubbish. Okay, must create some authentic one, but there's no crab at the canal one, let me tell you. It's too toxic already, cannot survive one. And don't even eat the crab, you understand? Okay, later die. Okay, now, next we go on to the next example. Can we move on to example 4 now? Okay, let's move on to example 4. Okay. Okay. Given that y is equal to x bracket, square root x plus 2, find dy dx. Now this is again, we have to rewrite this. Remember? Okay? So dy dx, I have to use product rule, right? Why are you looking outside? You want to, got food. You want to eat, After my lesson, what lesson? Then you go and eat, I will dismiss you 5 minutes earlier, My class just got it from me, People give 5 minutes for you to move to other places, right? Or get ready for the next lesson, right? The whole class went to the toilet. until the teacher write down there, do not erase, please do not go to the toilet, blah, 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 blah. Don't you think it's very irritating? Okay? 5 minutes not enough to do big business one. I tell you something. Okay? There was once a boy went to the toilet for half an hour, never come back. I know something's wrong. True enough, the class needed more toilet paper. It's true. One boy went to rescue him. He really stuck in the toilet because no toilet paper. So the boy ran back, who got tissue paper, Tom, bring them. And he came back. I said, you see, next time you want to bangsai, right? You must check whether there's toilet paper in the house. That's the most crucial thing, you understand? Oh, you understand what I'm saying? No, I'm telling you something that's very logical. Okay? And it's the truth. Am I right to say that? Okay? Then I cannot understand why people want to waste toilet paper, right? By putting water, then pump, throw up there. Then I'm wondering, I always wonder, maybe I got my mom's genes. If people walk past and suddenly it dries up, right? Pump, come out to the head, then how? Don't you think it's very earthy? You don't know whether they want to shit or not. Some people very pervert one. They can shit and then pump up there. The shit is up there. No, I'm telling you literally. Some pervert people, they do that. They do that. I'm telling the screen. You understand? Don't do this kind of pervert things, okay? Alright, now, come. Let's differentiate. If why you laugh, you don't believe me. They happened before, right? Yeah. Cannot understand, no. What's in the brain there? You bounce like, why you go and throw to the ceiling for what? You want to tell people what? Toilet wall can be built in the ceiling? Be creative? Nonsense. Okay, now, let's differentiate. Take it, you know, I'm really okay, finish the bit and then come differentiate now. What to do? First step. Fix this, right? Then, minus half times 1 plus, fix the other one times 1, right? Thank God that one is x. Can you see it now? Okay, now I'm going to simplify this. This one means x over 2 bracket x plus 2 plus square root x plus 2, right? Now I don't want to leave it like that because later on very difficult to simplify and solve, okay? So I will have an LCM, which is this, right? Okay, this will be an x. Did I do wrongly? It's correct, huh? Okay. Then I will have a plus. This one times will become 2 bracket x plus 2. Am I right to say that? Okay, so I will have an x plus 2x plus 4. I will have a 3x plus 4 over 2 square root x plus 2. It's neater this way. Can you all see what I'm talking about here? Yes or no? So this is my dy dx. Is there any problem here? No. Next. Explain why the curve has only one stationary point and determine the nature of the stationary point. Actually, I don't understand why they asked this, but never mind. Let's take a look. When dy dx is 0, I will have this, right? Correct. This one, I cross multiply, I will get this, right? So x will be negative 4 over 3, right? Correct. Okay. Now, you look at the next part. Next page, page 55. Okay, I want you to read the first 4 statements. All of you read. Actually, all those are redundant. It's only this 4 only, what you want. They talk a lot of rubbish down there. Can you see what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about? dy dx 0, so is this way. We talk about the denominator for what? Because we cross multiply, it's gone already. What? You get what I'm talking about? So I don't know why. Actually, I underlined that. I want to tell you that sometimes textbooks also don't know how they bet one. You understand what I'm talking about here? Okay, you look at the first statement. Since this is defined for bigger equal to 0, why? Actually, I don't understand why you want to say this. You understand what I'm talking about? Can? Okay? So, x bigger equals to negative 2. I don't understand what they want to say. Okay, but just let it be lah. So they said explain, we don't need to explain. We just determine the nature. Would that be okay? Just determine the nature. Okay. So, now, if it's already like that, you want to do the second derivative or you want to do first derivative? I think first we'll do now. Second, later you got to square the bottom, you know, you know the kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about here? It's terrible, you know. Okay? Now, next up. So, x will be negative 4/3. Now, this is actually negative 1 1/3. Okay? Now, negative 1.4 lah. Because 1 1/3 is negative 1.3 lah. Okay? So, this will be what? Negative 1.2, right? Bigger? Okay? So, this one, dy dx is already 0. Okay, you plug in negative 1.4. What is this? I want to know the sign for these two parts. Okay? Plug in first. Okay, what is this? Positive or negative? This side. Negative. How about this side? Positive. So, negative 0 positive. So, negative 4 3. Right? Is a minimum point, right? Okay. Now, what do I have to find? I got to find this value, right? How do I get this value? You sub in negative 4/3 into what? Into this one, right? Okay, so can you sub in for me? What is your y value? Okay, what's this value? It's not exact, because got a square root. Give me 360 equal to negative what? Negative what? 2.4 something. Negative what? 1.09. Okay, yes, you know how to key in calculator? You ask your calculator whether he's okay. Does he have ART symptom or something like that?
You want to see?
I don't want to see. I don't know how to use Casio. Okay? Can? Alright now? Can? No problem here? Now, can you see what I've done here? I want to teach you something here. Can you see like that? It's very difficult, right? You change it to negative 1.33. So you know that slightly less is negative 1.4, slightly more is negative 1.33. Everybody clear here? Can? Okay, good. So, it's a minimum point. Now next, I want you to spend 3 minutes reading through example 5 now. All of you read through example 5. All of you, start now. Can I borrow a pencil? Alright, let's look at example 5. The equation of the curve is y equals to blah blah. Okay. value of x for which the curve has a stationary point. Okay, let's find dy dx. Okay, so how do we find dy dx? 6x squared minus 12x plus 6, right? Everybody clear? Okay, so when dy dx is 0, we will have, I divide throughout by 6, I will have x is actually equals to 1. Am I right? Correct. Now I want to read the question carefully. What did they say? Part A, part 1. Find the value of x for which the value has a stationary point, right? So x is actually equals to 1. Okay, but you look at part 2, what did they say? Find the coordinates of the stationary point and determine its nature. Okay. Now, so next part. When x is 1, y will be what? 2 times 1 cube. I think I don't have to do this, I'll just straight away plug in. 2 minus 6 plus 6 minus 5. So this is how much? Negative 3, right? Correct. So the point, the stationary point is 1, negative 3, right? So I want to find the nature of the stationary point. Now class, let me just tell you something here. For us, right, when we see this, very easy to differentiate. Usually you do the second derivative, correct? Okay, never mind, we do first. What do you have? 12x minus 12, right? Then, when x is 1, I will have d2y dx squared equals to 12 into 1 minus 12. Now, can you see it's 0? Can we conclude from here? No. So this is inconclusive. We have to go back to first derivative. So we will have this. Now you always go like that now. 1. Slightly more is 1.1, right? Slightly less is 0.9. Am I right to say that? Yes or no? Okay. So this one, dy dx is 0. Am I right to say that? What's 1.1? Can you key positive or negative? Did I write the other way wrong? Yeah. I write the other way wrong. Sorry. This is slightly less, this is slightly more. My mistake. Correct now. Okay, what is this? Positive or negative? Huh? Positive, huh? How about this side? Also positive. Positive, 0, positive. So what is this point? Point of what? Inflection. Everybody clear? Can or cannot? Okay, I must see that you revert back to the first derivative. You cannot just from here say, because it's 0 is a point of inflection. No, it doesn't work. Everybody clear with what I'm saying? Okay? Alright, good. So next part, I'm going to start the homework on the Amex content page. What number is it now? Seven, 8, 9, 10. What is it? Amex content page is what? 7, 8, 9. No, I write 9. Okay, 9. Today. Nature of stationary points. I'm going to study it together with you on the full scat paper now. Everybody get ready. Yeah? Okay, you see, it comes by experience. Some people, right, they refuse to do, okay, a good question. When do you know when to use the first or second? Actually, it's up to you. I have a friend who told me that he will never use the second derivative because it's very waste time. What if it's 0, then I got to go back to first derivative? You understand what I'm talking about? But some people find that second derivative is neater. Understand? Because only one value. Okay? And of course, if the question specifies that you must use the second derivative, you have no choice. Understand? Okay? You got to follow the question. Get it? Okay? Alright, now let's take a look at question 5C. For each curve, find the stationary points. By considering the sign of d2y dx squared, determine the nature of each stationary point. Now, this question wants us to use which derivative as second, right? Okay. So, first of all, can we go and find out dy dx first? Fix this, differentiate this, plus fix this, differentiate this. Okay, can you simplify this for me and tell me what is it? What is the simplification? What's the answer here? Am I right? This is my simplification. Am I right to say that? Okay, now what did the question say? Look at the question again. They say find the stationary points first, then after that determine the nature of the stationary point. Okay? Alright. So from here I will say I divide draw by what? 3. Okay, I use cross method. Is it correct? Yes. X negative 6, x negative 2, 0. So x is 6 or x is 2, right? Correct. Now I want you to do two things for me first. When x is 6, what is y? When x is 2, what is y? All of you find this out. Okay, first part. What is your y? When x is 6. What is y? 0. Okay. How about when x is 2? When x is 2, what is y? x is 2. You get 32. Okay. So this point is actually 6, 0, and this point is 2, 32, right? I have two stationary points. Am I right? Yes or no? I'm teaching you how to present in your exam. Okay? Alright, now, then, the question says, by considering what? By considering what? d2y dx squared. They want which test? Second. Okay. Now, this is easier because of the nature of the equation. Now, everybody knows that dy dx is 3x squared minus 24x plus 26, right? So what is d2y dx squared? 6x minus 24. Am I right to say that? Okay. At 6, 0, d2y dx squared will be 6 into 6 minus 24. Can you see that this is positive? Can you see it? 36 minus 24, of course, is positive, right? So therefore, 6, 0 is a minimum point. Everybody clear? Then, at 232, d2y dx squared is 6 into 2 minus 24. This is less than 0, right? So, therefore, 232 is a maximum point. Can you understand my logic of explaining? Can, right? Okay? Yes or no? Okay, no problem. Okay. So now, I want you to do 5D yourself. Now, on the foolscap, teacher can start the video.